Okay, everyone. So this is a webinar on how do you rewire your brain and remove your limiting beliefs to live your life to its fullest. Okay, so once again, if you would like to see the presentation, our women's group going to be on by rewiring your brain. Are they strategies to remove limiting beliefs, and also a process on how we can bring this all together. That was terrible. Phone call in the middle of it. Let's see if we can turn that off. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, in your brain, what are the limiting beliefs, strategies to remove limiting beliefs, and also how we can bring that all together. I might just reduce myself there. Okay, so what do I mean by rewiring your brain? So when we use the term neuroplasticity, what we're actually doing is if you compare your brain to a piece of clay, for example, so you're sitting there at your potting wheel and you're molding this piece of clay pretty much into anything you want, anything you desire. The question is, how does that actually make you feel? If you were sitting there and you knew that you could rewire your brain into anything that you wanted it to be and anyone you wanted to be. So knowing that you can then go through a process of changing your emotions, being really in charge of those emotions, being in charge of your thoughts, your feelings, and how to adapt and respond to pretty much all your life's experiences in a way that you want to, instead of just reacting to them. Okay, so to know you have the ability that helps create these changes in your want, first, it's really about just making the changes. The first thing we do is we make the decision and then we make the change. Okay, so the old saying, if you don't use it, you lose it, is true on many levels, and this is certainly one of them, because you're going through a process of change. And once you start that process, as I'll discuss further on, it's like you just don't go down that road anymore. You get off the beaten track, you change direction. So once you get off that beaten track and that well-used pathway, you tend to be able to become more automatic in your new pathway. So first I'm going to have a little chat about beliefs. Okay, so beliefs arise from experiences. Experiences from previous beliefs are something that are assimilated through reason. Okay, so these reasons can be either an experience that is formed, and it also needs to be something that has a good reason behind it. So beliefs, reason, and experience are pretty much all based upon each other. All right, so everyone's belief has a particular ethology. So what I mean by that is a causal origin. A belief always comes from somewhere, all right? So you have some experience, say you received an educational instruction, a testimony from others, you spent some time, or maybe not much time at all, thinking about wider issues, and ultimately you arrived at your beliefs. So that's a really sort of cryptic way of putting it. So in a nutshell, a belief is an attitude, or it's a conviction about the truth or some idea or concept that you hold. All right. So generally our beliefs are basic concepts around things that are consistent to us, things that we do not tend to question. All right. So we tend to apply them to our memories. We apply them to our experiences and to the future that helps us understand the world around us. And for the most part, we're not, the beliefs are more of a subconscious thing. Sometimes we tend to be with them on a conscious level, but ideally your beliefs are more on a subconscious level, and you're not usually aware of them unless it's something that you're working on or really wanting to change. So beliefs are important because the behavior is important, and your behavior depends on your beliefs. Everything you do can be traced back to some belief, some point of origin that you hold about the world. Even like from brushing your teeth to your career, anything you do is based on your behavior. So that depends on your beliefs. So brought together, beliefs and knowledge form a mental representation of your world around you. Okay, a belief about your world is a mental attitude, and that world is structured in some way rather than another. All right, so if we now bring it, now that we've gone through the what an actual belief is, if we now bring that onto what are limiting beliefs, a limiting belief is something, it's a false belief that prevents us from pursuing our goals. It prevents us from pursuing our desires. So they keep you from doing things that are important to you. Like it could be even applying for a dream job. It could be something like you love hiking, but you don't think you're fit enough, you don't think you're good enough, you don't think you'll be able to do it. So it's really about finding the relationship between the beliefs that you want to hold and the beliefs that you don't want to hold, and the ones that are holding you back. So these types of beliefs, they often come from a place of fear. And to be honest, absolutely everybody has some sort of limiting belief. So the goal is to learn how to identify them. The goal is to learn how to combat them if they come up, and don't allow them to prevent you from moving forward. So you really need to, when it comes to your limiting beliefs, it's about getting out of your comfort zone so that you don't allow them to hold you back. All right, so I'll give you some examples of limiting beliefs. So one is I'm not good enough. Another one is I don't have enough. Another one is I don't have enough experience. I'm not smart enough. I'll never be successful. I'm not likable. I'm not pretty enough. And I'll never be able to do what I want to do. Okay, so there's some ideas of limiting beliefs. So a limiting belief is something that is caused by a number of things, yet they all stem from the same place. Your brain's desire to protect you from pain of the future. So that's also what anxiety is. Anxiety is fear of the future. Limiting beliefs are a type of anxiety about but it's your brain's way of protecting you from pain in the future. Okay, so these can be triggered by a number of things. They can be triggered by past experiences, again, fear, excuse me, things like imposter syndrome, and having an understanding of where that trigger actually comes from is an understanding of that path and the process behind them. You'll be able to manage those limiting beliefs. And when something pops up and you know it's a trigger, you'll then be able to go, hang on a minute, I know what that is. Okay. And it's about understanding really where they come from on a deeper level. So one of the strategies that you can use around removing limiting beliefs, it's quite a powerful one. If you believe in the idea of what we think, we become, our thoughts really control our mood. And so if you're able to, if we go back to the examples that I gave you, so one technique we use is called reframing. So the first one I gave you is, I'm not good enough. So we can reframe that into, I haven't yet obtained the skills I need. All right. The next one is, I don't have enough time. If I schedule more time, I will have more time. And that's about time management. Okay. The next one can be, I'm not smart enough. We can then reframe that into, I'm yet to have the knowledge I need right now. And the next one, I don't have enough experience. We can reframe that into, with time, I will have all the experience I need. The next one was, I will never be successful. We can reframe that into, if I work hard, I will make it. Okay. And then we have, I'm not likable. Not everybody has to like me. That's a hard one for everyone, because a lot of people, you know, they want to please, and that's okay. But we have to understand that not everyone has to like you. Okay. You just need to have your tribe. The next one is, I'm not pretty enough. And the reframe of that is, I am enough in every possible way. Okay. And then the last one is, I'll never be able to do what I want. And the reframe around that one is, with intention and persistence, I can achieve anything. All right. That's a very powerful one. With intention and persistence, I can achieve anything. And that will really roll on to what we're about to discuss, that particular reframe. Okay, so how do we bring it all together? If we go back to knowing that you're in charge of shaping your emotions, you can shape your own thoughts, feelings, the way you adapt and respond to your life's experiences, the way you exactly want to. You know that you have the ability to create the changes in your life that you want to by just making these small changes every day, a small step forward. Then we can understand that our beliefs arise through our experience. Experiences need previous beliefs and previous assimilations and reasons, and then the experience is formed, and then the belief is formed. Okay, so limiting beliefs, if we go on to that, are false beliefs that prevent us from pursuing our goals. Okay, so we've talked about beliefs and where they come from, then onto the limiting belief of how they hold you back. Okay, so limiting beliefs can keep you from doing the things that are important and applying, you know, even your dream relationship. So understanding that your brain's desire to protect you from pain of the future is what a limiting belief is. All right, but that limiting belief is usually unfounded. It comes from a place of fear, and it comes from a place of just being afraid of stepping through that comfort zone. So if we look at the reframing strategy that we used, our limiting beliefs, as I spoke about earlier, our limiting beliefs are like a well-traveled pathway. Okay, some we have been holding on for a good part of our lives, that is for sure. And they have become pretty ingrained. Okay, so they're quite deep, and they're quite meaningful to us. And when we start to let go of something, we create what we call a cognitive dissonance, and that's like an uncomfortable feeling. You might get hot and cold flushes, you might get clammy hands, might feel a little tight in the chest. It's all because your body is used to doing something the same way, the same well-traveled pathway, day in, day out. Okay, so when you start to travel down new pathways against something that is being totally ingrained in your life, you will find that you will have some sort of physical reaction to the change, because your body's going, hold on a minute, I'm not used to that. I don't want to be, I don't want the change. Your ego is not there to serve you. Your ego is there to hold you back. Okay. And it's your ego that really does put you in a place of, no, stay here. Don't go through that comfort zone. Stay here. We're good just here. But this is about creating new pathways. This is about creating changes. So your limiting belief is a well-traveled pathway, okay? It's something that is ingrained. By the reframing process, what we're doing is creating a new pathway. We're changing the way you think. So if we go back to the last one, I'll never be able to do what I want. Okay. And we reframed that into, with intention and persistence, I can achieve anything. All right. So that is the new pathway. And if you repeat that, and every time that type of limiting belief pops up into your thoughts, then, and you use that, then eventually that thought, that old traveled pathway will disappear. So by reframing, you create a new pathway, and the less traveled over the less traveled pathway. So the new traveled pathway becomes stronger. Okay, it's all about the synapses of the brain. It's all about, there's quite a lot of science behind it. This is evidence-based stuff in the world of neuroplasticity. It's about neurons, it's about myelin, and it's about your synapses, and it's about creating new neurological pathways and diverging from the old and into the new. Okay, and this is where the saying, if you don't use it, you lose it, comes from, because once you get on that new pathway, and once you get on that through or like that intention, and you consistency, once you get on that pathway of always using that reframe as just an example, eventually the old pathway dies off. If you don't use it, you lose it. So the important thing about this is just remembering the brain is like a piece of clay. It is designed to change. It is forever changing. The experience that we have every day changes our brains in some form. We can never not know what we've just learned. Okay, so, you know, if something happens in front of you, it's that saying is, I can't unsee that. Okay, because you just can't. It's always going to be there. And it could be something that changes or diverts on a different pathway for you. So change then changes your lives. It changes your behaviors, and it ultimately changes your pathways. Okay, so that's how we bring it all together. So now I just want to have a little discussion, because in this webinar, I tend to try and keep them as short as possible. Well, not as short as possible, 15 to sort of 20 minutes. I don't feel that we got to everything that we could really talk about in this webinar. So I've actually decided to offer a free workshop on this. It's a 1-hour workshop. It's on Friday, the 27th of May. It is on Zoom, so you can watch it from anywhere. You can be a part of it. It's from 7 to 8 p.m. on Friday, the 27th of May. There will be a link attached to these lives in regards to registering for that. You will see that pop up in Facebook, Instagram, and in groups. So do register. The webinar is really about, the free workshop is really about a lead on from this, and it's about going into more depth about the emotions, the feelings, really surrounding the limiting beliefs and creating that change, and helping you as an individual, if something is quite powerful in your life that you want to, remove a thought, a pattern, just something that's happening in your life that we can work on as individuals within this workshop, and we can help you create a strategy around that. It's really about helping people push through that comfort zone, creating a little bit of cognitive dissonance, really understanding that it's okay. You got to let go of that ego. Don't allow your ego to hold you back. And I don't mean ego as in I'm cool, I'm great. I mean that ego that just keeps you in your comfort zone and says, hey, let's not go there. We're really comfortable here. Let's just keep on that beaten track. This is about doing something different. This is about making changes in your life, And this is about you really moving forward and reshaping your life into something that you desire and something that you want. So again, this is Jodie Siemens from Taking Perspective. Thank you all very much for joining me on this webinar, How to Rewire Your Brain, Remove Your Limiting Beliefs, and Live Your Life to its fullest. Again, this was just a touch on subject. It's such a massive subject, so that's why I thought I'd offer a free workshop. The link for that will be in the comments, so jump on that. It was great to be live in 3 places at once. A bit confusing. There's messages coming in from all sorts of places. So thank you for those who joined me. Thank you for those who have registered. You will receive a copy of this in your inbox. Next week is Friday, the 6th of May, and I'm going to do a webinar on, do you have self-determination? And if you don't, how do we go about helping you develop it? So self-determination is a big one. It's all about internal motivation and really creating some intention in your life. And it's about sort of, really rolling on from this type of subject about rewiring your brain and creating those intentions on more of a subconscious level so that they become more automated in your life. So I believe that is it, guys. Again, thank you for joining me. This is Jodie Siemens from Taking Perspective.